Hey folks, what's up? This is going to be Why Atheism is Bankrupt number 2. Folks, I just have to let you all know that I'm turning up the heat. What do I mean by turning up the heat? Well, in my video to Redline today, needless to say, I got a ton of attention from a lot of atheists. I was getting blown up all day through tags, messages, all sorts of stuff. And it's quite interesting to, if you criticize an atheist, especially one here in this particular corner of Google Plus called the Great Debate Community, how you'll get blown up so fast. You can't really say nothing about atheists or atheism without getting blown the heck up. You really can't. But it's all good though. It's cool. I'm turning up the heat. And every bit of hatred that I get thrown my way, it just emboldens me even more. It continues to prove what the scriptures say about when us Christians tell the truth, that we should take joy and be glad in what we receive in hatred and things like this. We take joy in that. So, yeah, that's the way I feel about it. And I'm turning up the heat. That's not going to shut me up anytime soon. It's just going to make me speak even louder against it. So, I noticed on one of the videos I did, one of my recent videos, I had this troll. I guess it was this Black Forest Gump troll account. Took my avatar pic, dressed it up a bit, probably in paint or something. Tried to make it look like I was some sort of like stupid person. It was kind of hilarious looking at it, but I'm having troll accounts made about me now. Having these atheists blow up my email account. It's just ridiculous. Well, or rather, I should say, I get the notifications in my email when I get tagged and things like that. I'm just getting blown up all over the place. Yes, what's up?
Antonio, if you visited South America and there was some water and the guide told you there was piranha in the water and you jumped in and they started chomping on you, would you be surprised?
Of course not.
No, this is what they do. This is what atheists do, right? Now, certainly not all atheists, but the internet atheists are notorious for their infantile and adolescent behavior. They don't have good arguments. They don't have good reasoning skills. This is why they engage in all of this garbage. And that's all they're left to do, is to take people out of context, right? Or gangbang in the hangouts, talk over people. And then they wonder why there are some instances where I myself have gotten angry and upset. Because these clowns,
there's a massive mob mentality.
These guys,
mob mentality, man.
Listen, here's a news flash for you. These guys delight in doing this because it's not really about atheism. It's about satisfying their hatred and their rebellion against the God of the Bible who created them. So that's all it's about.
If all this, the vast majority of atheists talk about as a product of their lack of belief, please.
Yeah, lack of belief, my rear end. See, this is how pathetic they've come now in the 21st century. Whereas a generation ago, most atheists would boldly assert there is no God. But now you'll be hard pressed to find very many atheists that do. They just want to define it as a lack of belief. And by doing that, they're shooting themselves in the foot, as atheist Jeffrey J. Lauder, the founder of Internet Infidel, stated, because they're not operating on a unified definition of atheism. And there's no way to understand what definition they're using by the context. Now, it would be perfectly fine if they co-opted atheism to mean a lack of belief, if we actually had a word that was clear in the general Western speaking English in the Western Hemisphere for those who deny the existence of God. Well, there's a perfectly good word for that, atheist. But if atheism if atheism is not the denial of the existence of God, but just simply the lack of belief, then what do you call somebody who denies the existence of God? And if you say atheist, then you're causing confusion. And by the way, I'm not the only one saying it. You got people like Ozymandias who say it. You've got Jeffrey J. Lauder, founder of Internet Infidel, saying it. And there are other atheists as well. So the atheists are a laughingstock when they define atheism as a lack of belief, when they don't pony up a term that we can use that is unambiguous, that is clear, to mean the denial of the existence of God. This is why they're a joke.
Yeah, they was just hitting me up all day, man. Just there's no possible way I could respond to all those people, dude. Even if I wanted to, there's no way I could do it, practically speaking. I don't even know where they get the time to like endlessly do this type of stuff. Like, these people must have like no lives, seriously. How embarrassing
And
is that?
for
How
those of
stupid is
you,
that?
for those of you lacking belief and lacking testicular fortitude, who are sniping at Antonia and myself in the side chat, you're welcome to come in the room. As long as you're not abusive, you will be given more than equal time, and we'll actually set a timer. But most of you text snipers in the side chat of YouTube don't have, as I said, the fortitude to come in. Because you see, then your criticisms can be examined. They can be questioned. They don't want to do that, do they? No.
Yeah, apparently it's because there are certain brothers that I associate myself with that they have a problem. Like, oh, look at Tonio. He's associating himself with Didi. Why do you care? Why do you care who another grown man talks to? Like, honestly.
Well, Antonio, why don't we just tell them the truth? What actually happened is the reason why you're supportive of me is because I gave you the second made Rubik's Cube that came out in the 1970s, and it's a high-priced collector's item. Okay?
Oh, yeah, all day.
There you go, yeah.
Yeah, the truth is out, people. The secret is out. It's the Rubik's Cube. I don't really know what more y'all want to hear at this point, but that's it right there. But like I said, man, I'm turning up the heat. All this does is emboldens me. This doesn't in any way like deter what I'm doing here. I could see why G-Man was talking about a while back, these three phases, and I think I'm well beyond phase 3 at this point. But it is absolutely sad, just the depths of the meaninglessness of these people's lives. I mean, honestly, like,
Yeah. Barry, in the text chat, why don't you come in if you'd like to discuss the liar's paradox with me? I'll be more than happy to discuss it with you. So come on down, as they used to say in The Price is Right.
give me a sec, DD. Okay, I'm back. Someone was just asking me something, but yeah, what were you saying, DD?
The YouTube chat, they brought up the issue of the liar's paradox, right?
The liar's paradox?
Yeah, the liar's paradox is there's a couple of different versions, but one version is it's a sentence that says this sentence is false, right? So the question is the sentence true or is it false? And people think that this is something that is absolutely stumping that cannot be resolved. And in fact, if these guys actually had a decent keyboard and accessed Google, the liar's paradox has any number of rebuttals to it. But anyway, he won't come in. He just
Like
likes to
what, for
snipe from the
example?
chat. Well, for any given proposition, there's an unstated clause, such as if I say to you, my dog is in the backyard, there's an unstated clause that goes, it is true that my dog is in the backyard. So when you make a propositional statement, it's unstated, right? So if you have the statement, it is true that this sentence is false, you now have a incoherent sentence. Right?
Yes.
So basically the liar's that's one of several rebuttals. Right? So, but
I'm
he
getting
won't
out the
come
link
in.
to some
Yeah.
people. We have James Bond asking for the link. I'm gonna send it to him. Now let's see. Okay, James. All right. James Bond, if you're listening to this, I'm just going to send it to your YouTube inbox. Look out in your YouTube inbox and you'll have the link. But now I get just a small taste of what you've been dealing with all these years. Like, I'm not new to trolling at all. Like, I got my fair share of trolling when I was on Facebook. In fact, that was where most of my interaction was before I came to G Plus. It was on Facebook, and I've actually had at one time 2 whole pages specifically built to try to slander me. 2 entire Facebook pages built to slander me. So I guess it doesn't matter what medium you're in,
Well,
what social
this
media
is what
platform you're
many of
on.
them do. And they listen, their lives are so shallow, they're consumed about their hatred and rejection of the God who created them. And so they hate anything that stands for God. Look, if they actually believe that there is no God, and there's just these people on the internet who are just morons, like you and me and others who are believing in God is like believing in Santa Claus, would they really even care? Look,
Exactly.
there's a debate that goes on Google Plus about the flat Earth. I could not care less about discussing the flat Earth with the flat earthers. They're nuts. I don't waste my time with something that is lunacy. And so if the belief in God and promotion of theism is just lunacy, why do they spend so much time on it?
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, man. I'm of the same view as you. I'm of the view about the flat Earth thing that even if it is true, so what? I don't see why it's an essential anyway. I don't really get. It doesn't really matter to me at all. But like you rightly said, things that are really insignificant to me, I just don't talk about them. I just brush them away in the wind. But apparently, they cannot stop. They cannot stop. They wouldn't be able to get their sleep at night if they didn't go throughout the day talking about how stupid Christianity is. They have to get that. It's like they gotta get their little ecstasy shot in or something, whatever they're looking for.
Yeah, I love this. We had Barry there criticizing me, saying, that the liar's paradox, that I called it incoherent, yet I'm discussing it, and Cliff comments, and Cliff is correct, that it isn't incoherent to say a statement is incoherent. This is how stupid people are. Yeah. That's the one thing I like about Cliff, even though he doesn't agree with me and he's criticized some of my views. He's very fair,
He's
unlike these other clowns. And he's got a great Bigfoot costume. How can you not like a guy who has a Bigfoot costume?
Yeah, he's definitely one of the most honest ones on G+, and I have a lot of respect for him. He's actually helped me formulate my arguments better, see certain things through more evolved and broader angles.
Yeah.
So like Cliff's
plus you don't want to cross him because he's a knife collector, But
yeah,
he's a nice guy, so you don't have to worry about the knives.
But it's he's gonna be turned up over here. I don't really care what they have to say. They can blow me up all day and get in this game mentality. It doesn't matter to me.
So I love all of these. I love all of these attacks and text and the videos that people do. Do I care? No, I don't care.
I mean, here's the thing. What would they honestly have to talk about if all the Christians just disappeared off YouTube? What would they have to talk about? It seems to me that they just pretty much do this type of stuff for entertainment, not because they actually have anything of substance to say or anything to really fill their lives. So all the Christians just left YouTube. What in the world would they have to say? Would they just sit there just being absorbed in just an echo chamber of non-believers just on YouTube? Is that literally all they would do? Or would they seek some sort of discourse? Would they seek some sort of opposing views to challenge their thinking?
Yeah, well, this is for Slim Jim out there. No, we're not raging at atheism. We're criticizing and critiquing atheism and certain types of atheists. I wouldn't call our discussion here raging, Slim Jim.
If they want to know what raging is,
and you know, it's funny. Here's a guy. I think this is the same one. He professes he's Catholic. Well, you see, our job isn't to bring people closer to God. Our job is to share the gospel of Jesus Christ, to let our fellow man know that we're all guilty before God, including myself, Antonio, and everyone else, and that everyone needs to repent and be born again and place your faith in Jesus Christ. Right? This is the gospel is not a commercial program in the United States where we try to appeal to people's interests in order for them to want to buy or acquire our product. The Bible says the preaching of the cross is foolishness to them who are perishing. Now, if they refuse to believe that they're sinners, in the hands of an angry God with the clock ticking away to our judgment day, that's their problem. Not Antonio's, not mine. All right? And if they sit there and say, well, prove it, well, then tell me, how do you prove something in your worldview, Mr. Skeptic? Okay? Yeah, well, I've encountered you before, Slim Jim, if you're the same person I'm thinking of. Yeah. They just have one excuse after another.
Here's the thing. I should have 0 views right now, except for maybe believers. Other than that, I should have practically 0 views right now from non-believers if what we're saying is so stupid and so inept and so incoherent. But I've actually had atheists come out and admit that they just do this for the entertainment. And I believe that's how most of them are. They just want to attack believers, to get their entertainment dollars. That's all it's about.
Well, for those For those of you atheists and skeptics out there, if Antonio and I are just so stupid, so deceived, why don't you come on to the show and set us straight and just show us how rational atheism is? And after all, it can't be that complicated. I mean, after all, atheists are using their reason, right? Isn't that one of the memes of atheism? Rationalism and reason. You're free thinkers. So come on down, bring your reason, and just show us how rational atheism is. Love to hear it.
Jim, you want to come in? You do this for the entertainment, you say, but do you actually want to have an intellectual conversation? How about you, Bina? You want to come in? You watch my hangouts all the time. Jim says, I don't want Darth to stop being Darth. He's too funny. Well, he is a funny guy. I'll give him that.
Yeah, just remember when you say my name, Darth Dawkins, always add peace be upon him.
Oh yeah. But yeah, 31 viewers. It was juggling between 29 and 31, but pretty much an average of 30 viewers. And I don't even have anywhere near the subs that someone like Dragnot, Steve McRae, and JD Kane have. I don't have anywhere near their sub count, but I'm dang near getting the same amount of views they are. But what I'm saying is just stupid. What we're saying is just stupid. What we're saying is just incoherent.
That's because the clowns that you just mentioned are just bombastic and blowhards, and they throw red meat out there for the atheist audience. Of course, you're going to get viewers for that.
And all I'm saying is like they think they have so much power. I mean, you have these people that act in massive mobs, right? And they like to exhibit the power and use the power they have in packs to attack, but they won't use that same power to just turn off a channel they don't like.
Okay, well, Thomas out in the YouTube chat, you said, quote, you don't spread the word of Jesus, DD. You talk about the laws of logic. Well, you do know that the Bible teaches that all the treasures of knowledge and wisdom reside in Jesus Christ. If that's the case, Jesus is the origin and the source of logic. Oh, my headset just went out. I'll be right back.
Let me see if I can find you on Hangouts, James. Okay, let's see, James. Okay, let's try this. I think, okay, hold on. James Bond.
You see, Thomas, what I'm doing is when I question atheists about the laws of logic or the uniformity of nature or other related issues, so I'm trying to demonstrate to them that their worldview is bankrupt. They think that from within their worldview, they have the necessary preconditions or prerequisites from which they can reason to and from about atheism. But they actually don't. That's why they hate it when I question them about their statements and what the philosophical foundation is that they're reasoning from. And once somebody comes to the realization that worldviews that are not the Christian worldview are bankrupt, one is more prone to realize their need of repentance. In the same way, undermining people's confidence that they're basically a good person, right? There are no basically good people. We're all sinners before God in need of salvation and forgiveness of our sins.
Just out of curiosity, I wonder why Jim was watching this hangout. You gotta study. He talks about he's studying and he won't join in hangouts after June 3rd.
Lucky Seven Wolfen, why don't you come in the room and we can discuss the nature of what is and is not a supported or unsupported claim? Or do you just want to stay in the side chat, in the text, mocking and ridiculing? Tell me, what claims can be supported from a non-Christian worldview? Would you like to come in, Lucky Seven? We'll give you a link. I don't think it'll go too well for you.
Pointless preaching, he says.
Yeah,
No, we're not
what they've
preaching
got.
over here.
They only have these snide um, uh, remarks that they make in the text chat.
Yeah,
Right?
someone needs to learn the difference between
So
preaching
if
and doing.
my claims about the nature of God, about the revelation of God in and through the person Jesus Christ is unsupported, then tell me a claim that can be supported, and then I'll examine your worldview, and I'll examine what would have to be true in order for a claim to be supported and substantiated. We'll see what sort of claims can be supported, Lucky Seven. But you see, I don't think he'll come in. I mean, he might, but I doubt it. It's more fun for these teenagers who are trapped in adult bodies, who hate the God of the Bible, who just write these just sniping messages in the text.
Well, I'll tell you what, Lucky Seven. If you want to just sit there and just talk stupid in the chat all day, but you don't want to actually come in and have your claims examined, I'll just get rid of you out the chat altogether. That's what I'll do. Because I ain't gonna have people sitting up there talking on the side all day and thinking they know what's up. Don't want to come in here and talk the issues out like men. I have no problem removing it. I will not hesitate to remove you out the chat at all.
Well, Kind Drunk, come into the room and present your case against me. Okay?
All right, admin abuse. Like, all right. See, some of you people are just gonna get timed out. Like, seriously, this is ridiculous. Why are you people even watching my channel right now? Honestly, this is really stupid. Like, there's no reason I should have any views right now if what we're doing in here is this absurd. If what I'm doing is this absurd, this is beyond. No, you know what? I'm not gonna even try to digest the stupidity of this. We're clearly not dealing with rational people here. So we have James Bond in here. What's up, man?
Your mic is muted, James.
Yeah, how you doing?
So you wanted to come in?
Okay, so now, according to James, you're a pantheist.
No, I'm a theist, but I believe in Vishnu.
Okay, but Vishnu would be the Hindu god, right?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I've got news for you. Vishnu is simply one amongst a myriad of manifestations of the god
Yeah,
of
I'm just
Hinduism.
saying that I think pantheism falls
Well,
under theism.
Yes and no. In some sense it does, in others it does not. So you see, yeah. So so tell us, how did you actually become a pantheist in Hinduism, or are you just trolling us? Because this is a frequent problem we have, where atheists pretend that they've converted.
I
like
still
we
don't
had.
get can you explain the difference between pantheism and theism?
Theism generally has the idea that God is, it maintains the the creator-creature distinction. But in pantheism, there is no distinction between creator and creature, because all is God. Okay. I mean, but I'm not gonna give you a hard time if you want to think of yourself as a theist. So, so either you're telling the truth that you have, in some sense, come to believe in some type of Hinduism, or you're just trolling. So, how did you come to adopt this branch of Hinduism?
It just seemed to make sense.
That doesn't answer the question.
Well, I looked at it and I'm like, well, this makes sense.
Mm-hmm. How does Vishnu make sense?
He accounts for all the laws of logic.
Oh, okay. So what you're doing, right? So this is what he's doing. You see, here's the problem.
He's trolling.
Yeah, he is trolling, and
I don't understand how that's trolling.
I'm not interested. I'm not interested in clown atheists making a pretense because they realize that atheism is bankrupt. They have nothing to stand on. Okay. Now here's the problem, James. In Hinduism, all is God. Were you aware of that?
I don't know if that's accurate, but I do.
Yeah,
understand
that's actually, Vishnu is just simply a manifestation of Brahman.
He's the creator. Well, he's a manifestation of Brahma, which is the creator.
Right, but all is God. Now, do you understand that you can't actually have the laws of logic in Hinduism? Because you're a part of God, you're a manifestation of God, and so am I. And since there are contradictory views on things, and we're all manifestations of God, then contradictions actually exist. So how would you have the law of non-contradiction when contradictions can exist?
I'm not following.
One of the laws of logic is the law of non-contradiction.
Right.
Okay. So that means that contradictory states of affairs cannot actually exist.
Right. I don't understand what's the contradiction if Brahma created everything.
In Hinduism, we're all manifestations of God. That includes you.
Yeah, but there's still a
me.
hierarchy of
Okay.
creator.
No, these are just manifestations.
No, there's a hierarchy of like there's
Right.
a creator. There's a destroyer. There's a sustainer.
That's correct. Those are varying degree. Those are the various types of manifestations. How many times do I have to explain it to you? Now, in Hinduism, you see, you didn't convert to Hinduism, but in Hinduism, we're all manifestations of God. Therefore, when God speaks, he would therefore necessarily contradict himself, because there are other manifestations of God that contradict himself. So Vishnu is a manifestation of God, okay? Shiva is a manifestation of God. James Bond is a manifestation of God. Darth Dawkins is a manifestation of God. Antonio is a manifestation of God.
I'm not saying if we are created by a God, right? So doesn't even God say we're created?
No, stop.
Your point of view,
no,
right?
okay, James.
Wouldn't you also be a manifestation?
James,
of creator?
James, there is no creator creature distinction in Hinduism. So then you must be talking about some worldview other than the worldview that you derive from Vishnu.
No, I think there is a creator creature distinction. I think you're wrong on that.
No, you're incorrect, because all is God.
Yeah, I don't think that's a tenet of Hinduism that all is God.
Okay, what you need to do is go do a little reading on Hinduism. You're trolling.
Did he?
Especially ones with sparkling blue eyes and beautiful blonde hair.
What happened?
Oh, looks like I won.
Yes, Black.
You really gotta stop accusing him of trolling like that, man.
Why do I have to accuse him? Stop accusing him of trolling.
Because
If he sounds like he's trolling, we're gonna tell him he's trolling.
Because
have you been acquainted with James Bond before?
no.
Okay, I've been acquainted with him for quite some time. I'm familiar with his past trolling.
No, but dude, there's a difference between actual trolling,
Okay.
just messing around, and
Okay, Black. Is
If
this the first time you've encountered James?
yes.
Okay, this is not my first encounter. In fact, I've had multiple dozens of conversations and encounters. I think I have a greater degree of understanding of James than you do.
Yeah, that may be the case, but it doesn't mean he's trolling right now.
Yeah. Okay. Well, end of story. I know James. James is trolling.
I'm not really trolling.
Yeah. James has trolled before. This is just another reoccurrence of his trolling.
So let's just say if your example is true and we're all manifestations of God, I'm not still seeing the contradiction. There's just everything is God then.
No, you see, you're a manifestation of God, and so am I.
Right.
And so, since I'm God and you're God, what I'm saying stands.
Well, no, it doesn't necessarily mean what you're saying is true, right? There's a lot of
No.
instances
I'm God.
No, I mean you could be a part or manifestation or whatever, but there's instances in Hindu religion where some of the deities do lie. They do try and trick other deities into doing other things. So it's not about
It doesn't matter. We're all manifestations of God in Hinduism.
Right.
Oh God. Hey, what's up, guys? Hey, DD. Haven't seen you in a minute, it's Neo.
Oh, hey Neo, how are you?
Hey,
Haven't seen you in a
pretty
long
good.
time.
I was watching a room with Christian anarchists and Skylar Fiction, and all they
Yeah.
can talk about is people like you and Antonio. I don't understand why. I mean, they have nothing to talk about except for people on. It's so
Right.
stupid, you wouldn't believe it.
Well,
That's funny, man.
My boy, Neo, I see you still walking that awesome PC.
Okay. Hey,
Oh, yeah.
Black.
Oh, it's gotten a little bit more awesome
All right,
over
hold
the
on a second.
decades. Yeah,
Black,
go ahead,
you need to move back from your microphone just a little bit. It's a little loud.
Sorry about that.
Okay. Yeah, Neo, there's quite a few of these knuckle dragging atheists that are obsessed with me. Listen, Neo, what can I say? I have an extremely sexy voice.
Well, no,
and they're
it's not
attracted
just
to it.
you. I mean, you're just the target of the leak. I mean, if you just want to be a target, you can be the target all you want. But
Mhm.
I see them, and they are just obsessed with this. If you disappear,
I know.
I
They're obsessed with
I disappeared off of Google Plus, right? They don't even
Right.
talk about me anymore. In fact, when I showed up today, they all freaked out. In fact, Dragnaut went, "Oh my God, is Neo Cloud here?" And he put my name in bold yellow orange lettering for everybody, all the atheists to see.
Well, you
You
see,
know what I'm saying? See,
well,
and then now I'm the target
yeah.
of the week if I
All
stick
right.
around, right? Yeah.
Well, Neil, let me give you a little insight. For many of these internet atheists, they're suffering from a newly discovered psychological phenomenon. They are teenagers trapped in a man's body.
Yeah, I think you just interrupted a really good conversation. I'm sorry, dude.
Who are you?
I'm God.
Okay, then no, then it's not a great conversation. Go ahead.
No, he's just trolling.
Yep.
He's a guy who says he's in his 30s.
See, I know you guys. I know you and I know Antonio. So I mean, I don't know who this you.
Hey, do not act like you don't know me, Neo. You know who this voice belongs to.
Oh crap! I hear the voice and I forgot who it is now.
That's Emmanuel, dude.
Ah, that's Emmanuel. That's what it is. Oh, Emmanuel.
Boy, if you're
Missing you, bro.
getting your fellow nigga in his time of need. Okay, I see where you're going.
It's been a minute, Neil.
I
Good to
can't
see you, brother.
I can't believe that they are obsessed with us. I just wanted to mention that to you. They are so upset, not with me anymore, because I've disappeared off of this place. I hate it. Yeah, so they're going to continue to be obsessed with people like you. Yeah.
Yeah, if you want to see how obsessed they are, go over on YouTube to Darwin's Deity or Darwin's Greatest Hits. Yeah, go to Darwin's Greatest Hits. I'm such an interesting fellow that they have to spend so much time constructing these pathetic videos.
And I guess, sometimes you do come off a little bit defensive, you could say. You know what I'm saying? And I understand why, because after being attacked, like, and I keep telling people about that, about you, Antonio, that the reason that people like me and other Christians have a heightened alert sense, you know what I'm saying, is because we've been attacked so many times. Even if it's a Christian coming in the room, we want to check their creds, right? Make sure that they're a real person and all this other stuff before they start doing whatever it is. And I'm telling you, man, people on here are crazy. But anyway, that's just my little spiel. They just want to like make a fool out of you and dox you. I've been doxed, Antonio. You showed that? I showed you that? I swear to God, I'm not lying. They doxed my real name in other chats before.
Man.
Yep.
I'm sorry to hear that, man. That's messed up. Wow, dude.
The one dude's running around with a picture of me from my wedding with my real name as a Google account right now. So
Goodness, these people,
Well,
man.
what can we say? I mean, I came over from Pal Talk over here to Google Plus, and I would say most of the atheists over there are Meshuggah, and when I came over here, they're even more Meshuggah than the atheists on Pal Talk. But they basically engage in the same type of behavior, and then what they like to do is when they provoke me,
right.
at getting angry, which is my fault. I shouldn't get angry, because I should know that when you have the mentality of a teenager, they're out trolling. This is what they do.
Oh,
Like that kid James or whoever was here. I don't know who that was. Saying
I
you
know.
just interrupted a great conversation. It was like, well, I was letting you continue your conversation. Can you remember what you were talking about 5 seconds ago, or no?
Look, James is just trolling. I've had dozens of encounters with him.
Oh yeah, and you know what? I was over there at Skylar's hangout. I wasn't in it. Nobody's in it except for Skylar and Kirsten Anarchist, but everybody's in the YouTube side chat. And then noticed all the atheists said, "Oh, Antonio's room is open. We're gonna go over there and troll that room." That's exactly what they said.
Of course.
As soon as you open the room, they all moved from Skylar's room to your room, trying to troll you. I swear to God, I'm not lying to you. That's what they said in the YouTube side chat.
That's why I'm not putting the link out there. Here's the thing. I'm at a point to where I know they talk about me so much that I don't have to put the link out there.
They're talking about you in the YouTube side chat for Skylar's room right now. Oh, Antonio's so full of himself. He thinks he knows what he's talking about. All this other stuff. And I'm like, have you guys ever actually met Antonio? Because he's not the same guy that you're talking about.
Right. And
you know what I'm saying?
The irony is hilarious, man. The irony. These people are way, way full of themselves. They think they crap don't stink. They think everything they say is the dang gold nugget.
No offense to DD here, but I can understand why they attack you. You make yourself a target, but that's what you're prepared for. So I mean, I'm not willing to be that target anymore. I got shit going on in my real life. Excuse my language, Yeah.
Well, you know what? I hit a raw nerve. I mean, you should have seen Druss. He doesn't claim to be an atheist. I think he claims to be a pagan, but he started making some claims, and I asked him what his philosophical foundation for that was, and he had a massive hemorrhoidal eruption. He just had a conniption fit, and yet they want to turn around and say, well, what's your justification for God? What's your evidence?
Right.
But they want to shoot their mouths off and make certain statements, either directly or inherently, about the nature of reality, and then they want to speak to that. You see, when you open up your mouth, you're going to be speaking about the nature of reality. Well, if you're going to do that, I'm going to ask you, how did you determine that? Just like they ask us, how do we know that the God of the Bible is the truth? Because he has revealed himself.
Well, anytime you guys want to talk to a room full of Christians and regular people that may not be Christian, you don't have to go in there to convince anybody or preach to anybody. But if you want to talk to regular people, I have a gaming room open 24/7 that we just talk about random stuff like what we're talking about right now. In fact, we talk about you guys on Google Plus and stuff sometimes.
You're,
Not a lot.
there's something wrong with your mic. Sounds like
Oh,
you're a
I
little
am
bit
sorry
underwater.
about that, sir. I will go ahead and fix that. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, I gotta stop by Neil's gaming room. That sounds pretty cool. I didn't know he had it that long.
Well, Antonio, why don't you put out the link, and if they decide to snipe, so be it. Then you start the room up again. It's easy, and maybe
That's why they want to fight you.
maybe we can get some intelligent atheists to come in instead of these trolls. Let's see.
You know what? Yeah, if they decide to snipe, it is what it is. I'm not gonna even actively try to stop snipers. They're just
Just restart the room. That's all.
Yeah, you can't stop snipers. You never will.
if they do, they're just gonna verify, that we're on the positive side of things, and
Yeah, we don't snipe people. They do.
yep.
I've sniped somebody out of an atheist room before just to show them that Christians aren't to be messed with. We can snipe too. You guys aren't all immune to whatever you think you are. Just to show them,
Exactly.
How do you snipe?
It's really easy.
Well, don't go into it, because there are some idiots who don't already know about it. We don't want to add to it.
All you got to do is get the Hangouts extension app. That's it. That's all I have to say. Get the Hangouts extension app for Chrome, and that's it.
Yeah. I'll tell you off air sometime, Black. But let's see.
Once you get the extension app for Chrome, it's easy to figure out how to snipe people. It's not that hard. Shit, I'll even snipe myself to prove you that I'm right. You know what I'm saying?
I think I've seen you snipe yourself before.
What is the extension app?
Yeah.
Well, Antonio, why don't we just give it a try? If they snipe, they snipe. I don't care.
Yeah,
Wait.
This out there.
The problem is there's
Wait.
more of them than there's more of us. There's way more of them, and that's the problem.
Wait, guys, but what is this extension about? What is it?
Well, we'll explain it to you off air.
Yeah, the Hangouts extension is basically where you share like external chat stuff.
I still got no idea what you guys were talking about.
And if you guys want to test it out, go ahead and snipe me. I don't care.
Okay, so for those of you atheists out there,
which one is it?
okay, so don't worry about it. It's off topic. So for those of you atheists out there who would like to discuss the rational basis of atheists, there's the link. Come on in. And let's hear your rational basis for atheism.
I would love if they had a rational argument for once. I mean, just like a regular conversation. Do you remember when me and Sydney and you were sitting in a room laughing at Hillary Clinton together? That was the most awesome thing together. I mean,
which is surprising, because I had an encounter today with Sydney, and Sydney had very, very fundamental poor reasoning skills. And like I say, some of these atheists are teenagers trapped in adult bodies, and Sydney's a good example of that. He just doesn't know how to think like a grown-up.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. Then I had another atheist say that, well, since you can't refute the laws of logic because you have to affirm them, therefore they are the case. I said, no, they're not. If every argument for atheism, see, I'll put this question out there for you atheists. If every argument for atheism were to fail, would that logically necessitate there is that?
Wait. How can you affirm a law if you don't know it's a law?
No, what he was saying is that if you attempt to refute the law of non-contradiction, you would have to assume it in order to attempt to refute it. So that's a futile attempt, and I agreed with that. But you see, saying that the best attempt to refute something doesn't establish that something is the case. It just means that your attempt to refute it is futile.
How can you refute something that you don't even, first of all, have a concept of or grasp? You
Oh
see,
no, that's incorrect. They do
yeah,
have
you know what I'm
many
saying.
of them have a concept of the law of
Yeah.
non-contradiction. There's no doubt about that.
Well, I thought you said affirm. Like, how can you affirm something that you don't know yet? That
Oh
would have to do
no,
with God.
you can affirm something even if you don't know it. People affirm things all the time. People affirm things for which they don't have justification for.
Like gravity. I
The,
mean,
the, the, question,
gravity's
the, question, the
affirming.
question is, how do they determine that it is the case when they affirm the law of non-contradiction?
Right.
Right?
No, I get you. Yeah.
Welcome to the room, Undead. Is that your Alice Cooper look?
Oh, I know that guy.
Yeah, that's my. I basically use his mascara, and I wear a wig just to like cover my face.
I've met you before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How you guys?
Yeah,
I wonder
I know
how
Undead
old
quite
is
well. Good to see
Alice
you,
Cooper
man.
now?
Yeah. How's everybody doing today?
We're doing fine. I wonder how old Alice Cooper is.
He's actually turning 70 soon.
Supposedly a Christian, if you haven't heard yet.
Oh
Yeah.
well, a lot of celebrities are supposedly Christians.
No, I believe Alice is a Christian because his father was a pastor, his grandfather was a pastor. You could say that he strayed from the religion for a while, but he was brought back because, including, you read, if you watch the movie Super Duper Alice Cooper, it basically gives the testimony of how he became a Christian.
I really do kind of genuinely understand what he's saying. Whether he's a Christian or not is not up to me. That's up to, God, of course. Not Christianity, whether he believes in it fully, wholeheartedly. But the whole thing is the way that he talks is definitely the way that a Christian would talk.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. See,
Hold on a second. Did you say hello, True?
That is the real one. I know.
Okay.
I mean, Alice Cooper plays the villain on stage, but off stage, he's a Christian. Like, he has this charity called the Rock Foundation, which he helps teens get off the streets and helps basically preach the word.
That is the real true empiricism. I just backed up Antonio's claim, by the way. I just made sure that it was.
Oh yeah, appreciate that, man.
I think it is. I'm pretty sure it is because Antonio is live. I'm looking at his channel.
I recognize this account.
Yeah, I was just making sure it's the right T. Yeah. Well, you never know, T, because I have somebody going around with my picture and my name right now, with my real picture from me for my wedding with my real name. So you gotta watch out.
Okay.
I know
so,
you probably don't care, yeah.
All right. So we're still waiting for. There's got to be some intelligent atheists out there who would like to come in.
Where's Steve McRae? Where's Steve McRae when you need him? Why doesn't he show up
do
in
me a
rooms
favor?
like this?
Could you do me a favor and not talk over me? Yeah. Well, Steve McRae is not overtly an atheist. He cheers on atheists, but he will not assert that he himself is an atheist. But then again, neither does atheist Neil deGrasse Tyson or atheist Carl Sagan. They wouldn't declare they were atheists either.
I don't know.
Dawkins?
No, actually, Carl Sagan said that he was not an atheist a bunch of times.
Of course he said that, but when you assert that the universe is all there is, ever was, or ever will be.
But that's more of an agnostic thing, wouldn't you?
No, Neo, listen carefully. Carl Sagan asserted that the cosmos is all there is, ever was, or will be. That's a de facto declaration of naturalism. Okay? Naturalism is the negation of theism.
Right, but that doesn't mean that there's a possibility that something besides naturalism exists.
No, Neo, listen very carefully. I will quote you Carl Sagan. He said the cosmos, meaning the universe, is all there is, ever was, or ever will be. You understand? Okay.
Yeah, so he quoted the Bible like he made the cosmos God. Then.
What do you think Romans 1 says? What do you think atheists have done? They have turned the cosmos is God to them. The cosmos is their creator. It's that simple. Welcome to the room, I.
Didn't know Dee wasn't.
Are you there, I?
Nocturnal.
Hey, Dawkins. Have you ever heard of the American President for Atheists, David Silverman?
David Silverman. David Silverman is a clown.
Yeah,
I've listened to a number of his debates, and if it wasn't for all of the caffeine and Adderall that he was on, he'd be even more pathetic.
yeah. I'm definitely no atheist. I mean, I disagree with most of the things that he says and does, but one thing I do think I agree with him is the idea that he says that if you lack a belief in a God, you by definition are an atheist, and he basically says or argues that atheists are. I'm sorry, that agnostics are atheists. But from my point of view, I think that they both are put in the category of non-believers. So, aren't agnostics?
This is David Silverman is simply repeating the same type of shenanigans that a lot of atheists are doing. They want to redefine the historical and contemporary usage of atheism so that they can insulate themselves from having to actually defend. So in other words, they're co-opting agnosticism.
Yeah.
Now, if atheist now words can change
By
like
saying a lack of belief instead of
right. Now let's say the atheists were successful in changing society's usage of the word atheism, that it just meant a lack of belief and not the positive denial of the existence of God. Well, then what do we call somebody who denies the existence of God? Well, what word would that be?
An atheist, not an agnostic, that's for sure.
Well, you see, I've asked dozens of atheists who claim lack theism, and that atheism is not the denial of the existence of God. And they'll assert that to me live on the air. And then I'll say, well, what do you call somebody who denies the existence of God?
Because
they'll say atheist, which they contradict themselves.
But I found some atheists online even argue over if agnosticism is a form of atheism or not. And I've read a couple of times that there's different branches of atheism.
Yeah, they come up with all these different words like existentialism and so on to try to explain stuff. So there's a lot of isms involved with atheism. So it's like you can have different atheists that believe in different things like determinism, existentialism, like I'm saying. They have all this different. You may meet like 10 different atheists that don't agree with each other.
It's like,
you know what I'm saying?
Even there's like a form of atheism called satanic atheism, which is also known as LaVeyan atheism, and they say they pertain this as part of a branch of
atheism. They don't believe in the Satan out of the Bible. They've made up their own Satan, basically.
Right.
Yeah.
But basically it's like the worship of themselves.
Well, what's funny about that? This is another celebrity, but Marilyn Manson said worshiping yourself is to worship Satan. You know what I'm saying? And that is basically LaVeyanism.
Well, he was a part of the church he was a part of LaVeyan's church for all. I don't know where he stands out religiously now, but last time I watched him do a little bit of a documentary, he refers himself as spiritual, whatever that is. But I mean, he's no Christian, but I think he used to associate with himself with Anton LaVeyan for.
Well, they're definitely more than naturalists.
Right.
Yeah, well, you see, it wouldn't be a problem if we actually had a neologism for atheism, but we don't. For those of you out there in Rio Linda, a neologism is a newly coined.
Sorry, I was trying to mute myself. My headphones weren't working. Go ahead.
Yeah. No. But a lot of atheists, they're just trying to hide and hide behind the co-opted definition of agnosticism.
I think some atheists actually don't like the term atheism, so they prefer the term agnostic.
Right. Well, they don't prefer the term atheist at all. They keep saying that it's a lack of belief, so it's lack theism is the word that they're using now.
Yeah. What they're doing is like a definition game, really.
Okay, we want to welcome to the room Star. Would you like to say hello, Star?
And Christian man.
Star is a Christian. He was in here the other day.
That's right. I apologize, Christian. Didn't mean to neglect.
This dude's name is Star?
Yes.
Yeah, his name is. Well.
By the way, dude, do you watch Soul Eater?
No.
Oh man, I was supposed to make a soul eater joke out of that.
Also, I wanted to mention Christian Man. I haven't seen
Hold on a
Christian Man
second.
in a while.
Star, are you there? Is your microphone?
Whoa!
Because we want people who
That's
have
not
working
Brojo.
Oh, that's a different Brojo. Gotcha.
Remove it.
Okay.
Okay, what is the discussion today?
I got it.
We're just waiting for atheists to come in.
Well, they're not going to
Nice.
come in with a room full of Christians. I'll tell you that. They're too scared.
In the meantime, while we're waiting for atheists, I was looking at an interesting website. I mean, I'm not Catholic, but I do like the philosophy of what they have about movement and the very origins of space and how it started. It's basically arguing that that all of this requires a creator. Why don't you guys have a look at it when you have time and tell me what you think?
Also, to follow up with what he just said, the electric universe and the plasma universe are two things to look into. How plasma and electricity can obviously be a factor that scientists do not put into astrophysics, like Neil deGrasse Tyson, as you had noted. You know what I'm saying? That electricity can create a stronger force than gravity can. We all know that. You know what I'm saying?
I believe in gravity. However, there are still some people that categorize gravity as a theory still.
Okay. All right. So, Star, could you repeat what your question was?
I was just asking, what is the discussion today?
We're basically discussing the rational basis for atheism.
I would like to hear about the root of atheism also.
Okay, so Star, are you an atheist? Are you a theist? What?
I'm a Christian theist.
Okay.
So we're all Christians in here. We're still waiting for an atheist.
Well, I saw a person, I know him, J.D. Kane, say something against Antonio. And I would
he's
love
been running his mouth about me lately. Don't pay attention to what he has to say.
Yeah, J.D. Kane, Steve McRae, Fiona Robertson, Dragnot Silvis. I could name off all of the worst people on Google Plus that are like atheists that just all they want is fame on Google Plus. That's it. And in fact, I've even heard Dragnot say that before. Is the reason he's on here making fun of Christians is because it's fun for him. That's what it is.
Oh.
Yeah.
They don't even really produce any original content, most of them.
No, they don't. They just spend most of their hangouts talking about one of us, especially criticism. And now I'm starting to come to the forefront of who they're talking about.
By the way, Antonio, Jacqueline Glenn comes to mind. Plagiarism, right?
Yeah, right.
Well, hey, at least she doesn't do 10-hour hangouts, probably getting a hemorrhoid.
Oh, you mean like Steve McRae?
Right.
Yeah.
I think
it seems like every time I see Steve McRae, his beard gets whiter. Sorry, Steve. I love you, bro.
I think a lot of the ideas that atheists get for their arguments is from the Atheist Experience show. I think they get attracted to Matt Dillahunty's behavior.
No, it's far beyond that, my friend. It's far beyond that. They are highly organized, and they give each other arguments against people like us. They do that a lot.
They try to mimic the behavior.
By the way, welcome Wayne Fillmore, who is the only Christian in the room that believes in evolution, I believe. Hey, Wayne.
Hey, what's up? You don't believe in evolution. You accept the evidence for evolution.
Ah, there we go. He actually got it correct, because if you say belief, then I was able to attack you over that and say, because then evolution is in fact a belief, you see what I'm saying? So you can't say it that way anymore.
Wayne, when God got done creating everything, was everything good?
Yes, everything was good.
Okay, good. Is death and suffering good?
It can be used for good. Like, for example, imagine Hitler living forever.
I didn't ask you if it could be used for good. I said, is death and suffering good?
It can be used for good. It can be a good thing or a bad thing.
Okay, for a second time, I didn't ask you what it could be used for.
I don't know.
Is death and suffering good?
It can be used for good. Imagine Hitler living for 30 years.
That's all I
Can
can
I can I ask him a
Okay.
question?
Okay. No. When he was removed. Okay. When you ask somebody a clear question, and three times in a row,
He was a Christian.
three times in a row, and we're not going to play that little game.
He was probably the only person that you're ever going to have a conversation with, but that's okay.
Okay. Well, how much more clear do I have to make it? Is death and suffering good? Yes. No. I don't know.
Well, that's probably what he was getting to. Is I don't know.
I mean, it's clear that the death of Christ brought about the death of death. Okay, and that God works all things together for good for those who love him. But the question is death and suffering during the initial period of creation prior to the fall of man good? And you see, he was simply being dishonest and disingenuous by giving me the same answers 3 times in a row when I repeated the same question.
You don't think evolution and Christianity are compatible?
No, they are not. No, they're not. And there are even surprisingly some highly respected Christians who wink at it, like William Lane Craig, somebody who I have a lot of respect for. But you see, in creation, it says that God, when he got done creating prior to the fall of man, he declared everything was good. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, but not perfect.
No, it said that it was good. Now,
well, first of all, man, do you believe evolution is true?
I'm an intelligent design theorist.
You're a what?
Intelligent design theorist.
Okay. Now,
do you accept like common descent and things like that?
Well, I believe God could have played key parts in it.
Okay. Do you believe that the Bible is the Word of God?
Yes.
Do you believe that the Bible is the infallible, inerrant Word of God?
Yes, in its original.
Okay, good. Now, if something God says contradicts a conclusion made by some scientists, who's right?
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, you should know if you believe the Bible is the Word of God. Is God omniscient?
Yes, but do I have to be?
Okay. Does God know the truth value of all propositions?
Yes. Do I have to be a young creationist?
Are scientists omniscient?
No.
Okay, good. So if
Is your
the Bible teaches something and
Hold
it is contradicted by a
But that's a little condescending.
I'm not being condescending. I'm asking you a question.
Well, you keep asking me. Let me ask
if you keep on interrupting me, you'll be hid from the broadcast. All right?
All right. Take care.
By the way, he only had 2 people on his Google Plus list, and one of the people he messages was Steve Blowhard McRae. So
he didn't act that way the last time he was in here.
Yeah, he's trolling.
Just vultures visiting the room.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can't get a legit, honest atheist in here for nothing. But yet there's a lot of them watching. I'm pretty sure there's not. Well, if it is, that'd be great. That 40 or even 30 Christians are watching, but I'm very, very doubtful that all the people watching are Christians.
You see, when I questioned Wayne Fillmore, he knew the implications of the question, so he was giving a disingenuous answer. I didn't ask him if God could use instances of death for some ultimate good. I said, is death in and of itself good? Right? And he basically refused to answer the question. And the reason why is this. is he believes. Oh, Cliff Jumper.
Hello.
How are you doing? Good to see you.
Jumper, dude, how's it like working with Optimus Prime?
The Transformer.
Yeah. That's
I
just
always thought that Avatar was cool.
yeah, well, I quite like it. I mean, the thing about it is it's red and it shows up in Hangouts quite well. So,
My boy, you gotta get me in touch with the Prime. You see, I'm trying to become the first human Prime, the first Black Pac-Man Prime, man. You gotta hook me up, man.
I mean, Jazz was done by Scatman Crowther. That goes awesome.
When it comes to the Transformers, I always liked Wheeljack and Ratchet the best.
Yeah, I kind of like all sorts of characters, but I quite like Cliff Jumper. I don't know. Also voiced by Casey Kasem, the guy that did Shaggy from Scooby-Doo.
Gosh, I remember listening to him on Saturdays when I was a kid.
Saturday morning cartoons for the best.
Okay, so Cliff, is atheism rational?
Well, I mean, it's a conclusion.
Okay. Is atheism rational?
I think it's rational, given it's a conclusion based upon looking at the evidence of whether it's scripture from one form or another and saying, does this comport to the reality that I see and I've experienced? No, it doesn't. Therefore, I have made a conclusion based upon that.
Okay, there you go, folks. I asked Cliff a straightforward question, and I get a straightforward answer. Cliff and I almost never agree, but Cliff is a straight shooter. There you go. I get an honest answer out of the guy. Bravo. Thank you, Cliff. Okay, so Cliff, just so we're on the same page, just for the sake of discussion in this room, atheism is defined as the denial of the existence of God, the lack of belief in God, and the lack of belief that God does not exist is agnosticism. The belief that God does exist is theism. So according to the room definition, where would you place yourself?
Well, I consider myself an atheist, but my basis of it is I find God not guilty of existence.
Okay. So basically you're operating from the presumption of atheism.
No.
Do you know what the presumption of atheism is?
Well, a presumption suggests I already had a decision, as opposed to coming to a conclusion.
Okay, so why don't you unpack? Okay, so are you going to use the room definitions that atheism is the non-existent, the denial of the existence of God?
No, because I'm using the definition that I gave already. I think
okay.
that's
Well, I already explained to you that for the purposes of clarity, the definition of atheism, we're going to be using the Stanford Encyclopedia of Philosophy definition, which atheism is the denial of the existence of God. Okay, if one denies the existence of God for the purposes of clarity in this room, then they are an atheist. If one has the absence of belief in God for whatever reasons, they'll be designated an agnostic. If one affirms the existence of God for whatever their reasons, they are a theist.
Well, that's not very nuanced, is it?
No, those are the definitions of the room. So which of those?
I don't accept any of those definitions, I'm afraid. Well, except for theism.
You don't have to accept those definitions in your own life, but for the purposes of clarity and avoiding ambiguity, under the room definitions, what would you classify yourself?
I've already answered that question. I have my own definition.
We're not going by your definition. We're going by the room definitions. Those are the policy of the room.
Okay, then you obviously don't want me in the room then, because you're not interested in the discussion.
No, I do want you in the room, but the room has a few basic rules. We're going to be using the definition of the Stanford Encyclopedia of Philosophy that atheism is the denial of the existence of God. Now, would you be an atheist under the Stanford definition of the Encyclopedia of Philosophy?
I'm not sure. You see, I'm still very. I still don't use that definition.
Okay, I'm not interested
And
in what
so-
definition you use. The definition that the room is using for the fourth time is the Stanford Encyclopedia of Philosophy. Atheism is defined as the denial of the existence of God. Are you an atheist according to the Stanford Encyclopedia of Philosophy?
I don't know, because I don't go under that definition. As a result, I don't know if my
Okay.
Yeah, that was getting ridiculous.
I'm not going
I was
to
about to
state
remove
it.
myself. You
I'm not
got
going to
rid of him
state it
before I
at this
did.
time. What, Antonio?
I said I was about to get rid of him myself. You got rid of him before I did.
Okay, no, we gave him the benefit. We gave him the benefit of the doubt. We told him that we're going to be using the Stanford Encyclopedia definition in the room. Whatever definition he wants to use in his private life, that's fine. So because there's a historical and standard definition that is used, and because there is a newfangled definition by the lactheists, when the word atheist is used, unless we nail down the definitions in any given conversation, then we're going to have confusion. And I explained to him, for those of you out there in Rio Linda, we're using the Stanford Encyclopedia, the definition of the Stanford Encyclopedia of okay, they're sniping, get rid of them.
You don't know Vehicle 444 is not a real vehicle, right?